Welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here. We got a follow up on a prior story, actually. You actually sent this to either me or the Twitter group or whoever it was, I forget. Um, but so a while ago, this was obviously still during the football season, we covered uh, Deadspin or a writer from Deadspin that had seemingly out of nowhere attacked a 9-year-old boy with slander, right? Didn't physically attack him. But he tried to say that the boy who had his face painted was doing blackface, and I forget the exact story, but they was trying to cancel the boy, cancel the Chiefs. Again, it's a 9-year-old boy and a grown-ass man who writes for a uh, supposed professional, you know, writing organization. Back in the day, you would call it a magazine or a journal, but it's not, right? It's just digital. So whatever journalistic organization you want to say. Um, Went after this boy, whatever. It turns out that, again, we covered this in the show, in a previous show, that they took a picture from an angle that only showed one side of his face that was painted black. The other side of his face was painted red. Kansas City Chiefs. I know red and black isn't necessarily their colors, but he's a 9-year-old kid, and red and black looks a
9-year-old,
lot
they're not
cooler.
not breaking the record for fucking intelligence here.
Yeah, and a 9-year-old kid, like red and black looks a lot cooler than red and white, right? Like it's just that's a fact. Red and black go together way
Should have
better.
been yellow, but hey, here we are.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah, you could say red and yellow, or red, I would have said red and white, but either way, he had like the whole headdress on, like the Indian headdress. So this guy goes after him, says the whole thing, and he doubles down. When people come after him to say, "Oh, well, you're a moron," the other half of his face is painted red. This guy from Deadspin doubled down and said, "Well, now he's not just racist against black people, now he's racist against Native Americans." Well, come to find out, this 9-year-old boy is actually Native American, right? His grandfather was a Native American who sat on the board of whatever tribe he was in. So he's 3 generations away from full-blown tribal chief Indian.
Forgot about this half of the story. This is great.
Yeah. So then what happens, and everyone or most people with a brain are like, oh, I hope they fucking go after Deadspin, fuck that, whatever. Well, lo and behold, the boy and his family sued Deadspin. Um, I don't know technically what they sued them for, whether that's slander or libel or whatever, defamation, right? Whatever synonym you want to
All
pull
of
out
it.
of the thesaurus, right? Yeah, probably all of the above. Um, so Deadspin got absolutely crushed by this lawsuit. It was already barely hanging on. Um, and so now, because of this, because they got leveled in this lawsuit, they now had to sell the company because they ran out of money. So they sold the company to uh, Lineup Publishing, which is a European firm, right? So it's a European company named Lineup Publishing. Um, they purchased Deadspin. They bought the company. Subsequently, after they bought the company and then laid everybody off. Every single employee of Deadspin got a pink slip that, hey, we're the new parent company, Lineup Publishing. We're based in Europe. I don't see where in this article if it says where in Europe. I don't think it specifies. But hey, this European company, we just bought you and you're all fired.
I mean, they'll probably just dissolve the company, right?
I don't know because it depends, right? They could, right? They just purchase it to dissolve it, which would be like a Dave Portnoy move. I'm kind of surprised that Portnoy didn't do that because that was the video that you sent, right? I didn't actually watch it. with Portnoy, but he was like in his pool or something, like gloating about Deadspin.
Truthfully, I remember sending it now. I don't remember what I sent.
Yeah,
I just saw like the outcomes.
yeah. Because I know Portnoy hates Deadspin because they got into it a few years ago, whatever. But um, they were competitors once upon a time, and then Barstool just fucking left him in the dust. Is not even doing it justice. um, Literally, Deadspin just got bankrupt and purchased by a European company, and Barstool is now had two deals with major sportsbook companies. Um, One of them to actually open their own sports book, and that did obviously because of regulations didn't work out. But now they're back with DraftKings for a massive partnership deal. So um, should be all you need to know about where those two companies went when back in like when we were in high school and probably college, like 09, 2010, they were like fierce rivals, but no longer. So yeah, I thought that was fun. I thought that was a fun story, and I'm glad to see that um, dumbasses now are getting kind of like put in their place, right? Like if you're gonna be a dumbass enough to run a story like that, that's certainly one thing, right? Then something else comes out, right? The double-sided face comes out. Now you double down, and then your employer does nothing about it and actually supports you in that, and then they get sued and go bankrupt. Like that's exactly what should happen in this scenario. And I am 100% on board with that outcome. It's the ultimate fuck around and find out, right? You whatever fucking cliche you want to use, right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, all that. It all applies here.
All he had to do too was say,
Sorry.
"Hand up, that's on me."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
That's all he had to do.
That's all he had to do. Couldn't fucking help himself, huh?
Yeah. Now the company he works for is bankrupt and he doesn't have a job.
Well, because that's the other part too, is like someone in the company should have said, like, no, you're not doubling down on this. You are fucking
Right.
taking ownership over it.
Whoever
You
the
fucking
senior editor is or the chief, marketing officer or whomever, right? In Deadspin could have stood up and said, no, 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 no. Or we're not doing this. But they didn't. Now they pay the price. So fuck them, right? I mean, it's 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 kind of nice to see things moving in that direction, right? Because for so many years with the whole cancel culture thing and the Me Too, which again, Me Too was a good movement when it started, and then ultimately it kind of spiraled out of control. I always bring up the Aziz Ansari example. The guy got canceled for having a fucking awkward date. Like that's bullshit. Um, so again, it's one of those things that started out good, right? It kind of started with the Harvey Weinstein thing, and that guy's a fucking pig and deserves to be in jail for the things that he did. But then, like again, it gets out of control, and then you got people like Aziz Ansari that get canceled. So for so long, for so many years, right? Because of that, people were kind of like walking on eggshells, kind of like, oh no, hold on, which way's the wind blowing? Let me check that. That's what I believe today. No, 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 yeah, no, I just don't want to get in trouble. And now it's going the other way, right? People are sick of the bullshit because over the summer you had the Target thing, right? And the Bud Light thing, and now this Deadspin thing. Like people are starting to kind of learn the hard way that if you're gonna be a fucking moron, then you're gonna pay the price. Sometimes literally with your company.
well, we can just hope that that is a starting trend because most of this is bullshit. So I don't want one event to be like, oh, see, road to
Right.
recovery here.
Right.
Something.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I said, it's not just the one event because you have the Bud Light and the Target stuff too. So it's there's more to it, right? This is a little bit different because
Yeah, a little.
it's journalistic, right? A
Yeah, but I
journalism.
was gonna say because the other thing too is it's like what Target and Bud Light did. They're just like slightly. I mean, it might be arguing. No, it's not arguing semantics because what they did could be construed as a legitimate marketing tactic. Now, it's a
Yeah,
very bad one.
right.
It was
It
very
costs them a lot of
unsuccessful.
money. Yeah, yeah,
Very unsuccessful. Now, where Bud Light has the parallel would be the doubling down.
right.
But with this guy at Deadspin or this writer at Deadspin, they didn't do their job. They didn't investigate, find out, do their homework, do their due diligence, and frankly chose a really fucking weird target
Yeah.
for
A
that.
9-year-old kid at a Kansas
Yeah,
City Chiefs
really
game.
fucking weird. Like someone
Yeah,
dressed up.
yeah,
Um, so because like if you're a journalist, you do the work and then you write the article. That's how it works. You didn't do
theoretically.
the work. You just wrote the article. The
Right,
article sucked. You fucked up, and then you doubled down.
right.
Like I said with like Bud Light and Target, effective? No, but they were legitimate marketing strategies. They're just very ill suited.
Correct. Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good
But
way to look at it.
in there was never like, I mean, until the marketing director from Bud Light came out and ran her mouth, there was never like an accusation or like, no, we're doing trans bathing suits because you all people suck and need to be accepted of this. And it's like, or fuck you, put them in the back of the store now. Like,
Right, right.
um, maybe, maybe we're on a road to something. I mean,
Yeah.
I still don't trust people. I still think each day people are getting dumber and dumber.
Yeah. And I think to the point where I brought up earlier about like the Me Too spiraling out of control, if this is the beginning of something, I'm sure this too will spiral out of control as well, right? In the opposite direction. Um,
Yeah, will because then there'll be a legitimate something that needs to be addressed, and they'll be like, "Oh no, it's just another frivolous claim," and it's like, "Oh fuck, here we go
yeah,
again."
yeah, yeah. It might take years, right? Like Me Too started in like 2015, right? And it took until 2023 before people had balls to stand up for what they believe, like in mass, right? Because, you know, I'm sure people were doing it before that. As a matter of fact, I know they have been because people like, Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan and like, people along those lines, right? And Brett Weinstein and his brother Eric Weinstein, like those type of people have been standing up for certain ideals themselves, right? But like in mass, it took until 2023 for, again, the country, basically, effectively as a whole, to put up a big middle finger to Bud Light and Target, right? And now you're getting people putting up a middle finger to journalists. So it took, was 2015 to 2023 is what, 7, 8 years? So 8 years from now would be 2032, right? So you take a little bit off of that. That would mean sometime around 2029, it's going to be way out of control in the other direction, right? And people are going to try and be canceling people on the left, right? Because, oh no, can you believe they defamed the name of the Lord? They said Jesus Christ in jest or in blaspheme. Like they need
Wouldn't
to
like
be canceled.
they wouldn't like that werewolf Jesus meme then.
Yeah, I know. That was fucking fantastic. Um, but I mean it's just the way things work, right? Everything kind of like swings back and forth. And again, like you say all the time, which you're correct, which obviously, because you don't say things
Obviously, I
unless
don't
you're
say shit
correct,
unless I'm right.
is that people are dumb, right? So when you have dumb people,
It's getting even dumber, man.
I know, and when you have dumb people that are behind these things, inevitably it starts out as a good cause, right? Like right now, we have a good cause because the people are standing up for their beliefs. They're withholding their money for causes and companies that they don't like. They're asking questions about creepy people like Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates and those kind of people. And people are kind of starting to figure out that like the government is bullshit, and the Democratic Party in particular, not they're both full of shit, right? But the peddling from the Democratic Party right now, because they're the ones in control of everything, is are just full of shit, right? So it's kind of like where we were in 2015 with Me Too, right? Everyone can get behind it because it's a great cause. Yeah, obviously we shouldn't rape women, and we shouldn't make them fucking do sexual acts to you in order to get promotions. Harvey Weinstein, you sick fuck, right? Like obviously, like who wouldn't get behind that cause? And that's kind of where we are, or where we're about to be with some of this stuff right now. So that's what I mean. Like it's inevitable that it will just spiral out of control. And again, you'll blaspheme the name of Jesus and you'll get canceled, right? By these people on the right that are also retarded and will inevitably fuck up too. Um, so as true sarcasm speaks fashion, right? We have to hate both sides equally. Uh, there's no
Yeah, not at
favorites
all
here.
times because one side will
Well,
generally be
yeah,
dumber than the other at
right,
points, but
right.
gotta hate everybody,
Yeah.
including myself.
That's the only way you can do that. Right? Like what's that it's like people say you can't love someone else until you love yourself, and it's like no, I hate everybody because I hate myself.
Yep.
You can't, it's impossible to hate everybody unless you also hate yourself.
What was the thing I sent you the other day too? It was like, I don't have a high enough intelligence level for this many people to be dumber than me.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That one was pretty good too. You've been on fire with the memes lately, the ones that you
Dude,
found.
it's funny, man. Like when I pull up my Instagram, like the shit that gets fucking like suggested for me, it's fucked up. And it's because I send it to you guys. Like I don't like any of it
Yeah.
because usually I keep my likes to like either golf or like people I know, like what they're doing.
Yeah.
But all I got to do is scroll and I'm gonna get something fucked up.
I would say 90% of the time, like I actually laugh out loud. Like I'm my intelligence level isn't high enough for that many people to be dumber than me. Like I actually laughed out loud at that. And the werewolf Jesus one got a real laugh out of me. I was like, geez, like these are really fucking good. So
It was a pretty good. I'll just send it to you.
um
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's the funniest ones that I get have to do with like hating corporate work because I don't work a corporate job.
that one's pretty good too.
But yeah, I mean, like,
uh
I don't even work corporate, so why am I getting like these corporate memes?
yeah, that's funny. But you know what's weird about that is this is a real thing that your phone, well, you don't have an iPhone.
I don't.
So maybe this doesn't apply to you, but it is a real thing that phones talk to each other, and like iPhones will talk to each other. So if you are searching for something on your phone, right, and we're sitting next to each other, sometimes I'll get an ad for it because the phones like communicate to each other, and they just kind of like recognize, by GPS pings, right? These two phones are constantly near each other, so they must have some sort of relationship. So then you end up getting ads for things um that other people look at. So like all the time what happens is like Amy will see something on Instagram and send it to me, and I'll be like, "Oh, I saw that like 45 minutes ago." And then like I'll send her something and she'll be like, "Oh, I just scrolled past that." So I'm like, "Oh, that's weird." Like but they're random things. So it kind of just, makes me wonder like Instagram is just, part of that fucking Facebook meta algorithm where it watches everything and talks to other phones and shares all your information and does all that shit.
I don't think Michaela's looking at this stuff.
Well, you're yeah, I mean, you like I said, you're also immune to it because you have an Android. So
I get it. I'm superior.
yeah, yeah, true, true. I heard actually recently, I don't know how true this is, but I think in a future like iOS release for Apple, their operating system, um, they're gonna remove the green text. So that's like, I mean, sure you are aware of this, right? Like
I love the green text.
as an iPhone user, people like lose their shit
Oh, they get so mad.
if you text someone and it's green versus blue. It's like, what the fuck? Like, there is literally no difference. We can still send GIFs back and forth to each other. Like the emojis work. Like it just looks different on your phone versus on my phone, right? Because the Android has their own emojis. But like when you send an emoji that's an Android emoji, however it looks on your phone, when it comes to me, it's like translated into Apple emoji and it looks exactly the same. There is literally zero difference between the iMessage and a green text. The one and the only thing that's different is I can't FaceTime you. Like we can't FaceTime
I
because you
turn
don't
it
have
off
an
anyway.
iPhone. Yeah,
I wouldn't
which
have it on anyway.
yeah, again, which that's fucking dumb. That's the only thing. Cool. Other than that, it's the exact same experience.
They get so mad. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe you have a green text.
Stop
Who
pumping my
gives?
ego up with this stuff.
Yes, like who gives a shit? Right? It literally means nothing.
I enjoy it. Actually, the
Yeah.
funny thing is the texts don't come in any different for me. So the fact that other people are inconvenienced by the if something else just popped up. If people are inconvenienced by the color of my text messages, then it's like that's just uh that's just a big win for me.
Anytime you can cause a little bit of pain, right?
Just well, this is the thing. It's not even real pain. It's just
Well, yeah, it's
like
it's fake.
it should be a non-inconvenience, but it turns into a mild inconvenience and people get fucking riled up. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty awesome. Uh, you know what's not going to be awesome though is this Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Did you hear about this?
No.
So this is
Why is this guy fighting Mike Tyson?
I don't know.
Well,
Well,
money.
I do know. Yeah,
Money.
the answer is money. So Netflix is going to host it. It's going to be another attempt for Netflix to get into live sports. Because we talked about the what was that? The I forget what it was even called. They put golfers and F1 racers together on the golf course in Vegas, and Burt Kreischer was the
Oh,
host. It was not good. It was very bad.
didn't they
Um,
just have one of those for tennis?
they might have, I don't know.
I think they might have.
But like Netflix is trying very hard to get into the live sports arena.
If they want it that bad, call up Live Golf.
Yeah, I know, right? Um, uh, I think boxing is an interesting one. I'm kind of interested to see how they do it. Like, because obviously they have a subscription, right? It's whatever, $15 a month or whatever it is now. Um, but for boxing, typically those are pay-per-view events, right? So like, is Netflix going to run it as a pay-per-view? Um, I mean, people are obviously going to be pissed about it, but like they'll pay, right? Like if it's $7, for to watch Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, on top of your monthly 15 or whatever you pay.
You
I
almost
don't
have to look at that like it's a sunk cost because you're already paying for it. So if you want the boxing match, then you got to pay, like, you got to buy
right,
that too.
right, right. So I don't know. I don't know how these guys are going to make money off of it because it's all cyclical with Netflix. Um,
Increase expenses. They don't add
yeah.
subscribers. How are they going to make any money?
But some of those things, like those stupid things, right? Like the golf and F1 thing and whatever tennis thing, like, yeah, you can do that and you can just put it on your platform and let it go. But like professional boxing is big enough, and especially their fans. So that's the other thing is conditioning, right? So boxing fans and anybody that wants to watch a boxing match, anybody that wants to watch UFC, like all those events are all pay-per-views. So everyone is conditioned to have to pay something to watch those fights. So I don't think it would be out of the question, right, to make it a pay-per-view, but it's just kind of odd to me that if they do it and they don't make it a pay-per-view, because like how do you get that money, right? Because you're only getting the money from people paying $15 a month, but you're taking all that money and you're investing it into movies, right? Because you're putting out these massive blockbuster movies, and it's like I don't know, it's just weird to me.
The only way would be sponsorship.
Yeah, no, that's true. They could sell sponsorship, yeah, um, but the fight itself, if-
Gives a fuck.
I'm not gonna watch it. If it is a pay-per-view, I won't watch it. If so, this is the one thing I think where Netflix has the advantage to cable providers, because if they put this fight on Netflix, right, even if it is a pay-per-view, right, and then say a week later they remove the pay-per-view and they just let it live on the platform, right? Because that's what they did with the F1 golf thing. They they did it live, right? And then after the live event was completed, they left it on the Netflix platform. And obviously that wasn't a pay-per-view, so it just kind of now it lives on there. So like if I wanted to go watch that event, I don't know why I would because it sucked, but all the same, if I wanted to go watch it, I could go turn it on right now. Right? So I think that's where Netflix has the advantage because they can do stuff like that, right? They can have a live event and then just leave it on their platform so people can come back and watch it anytime they want. Versus like on cable, like you have to DVR the event. And for people like you and I, it's fucking easy, right? Especially even if we have YouTube TV, it doesn't really matter. Like it's still pretty easy. Um, but you think about people in their, 50s, 60s, 70s plus, like they already don't know how to use YouTube TV or any of that. You think they're going to figure out how to fucking tape a live sports event and then so they can watch it later? Like that's going to be a whole thing, right? Like, so I do think there's benefits of it being on Netflix if it lives on Netflix forever, essentially. Because then that's one of those things too. Like if they do start having those events, right? Like, I mean, this may be a bad example because football is kind of ever changing. But like if someone wanted to go back and watch the, Super Bowl 56, right? Well, they can go back and watch that if it's on Netflix. Like, where can you watch that now? You can't. Like, how
Yeah,
the
I
fuck?
can't answer that. I
Exactly.
don't
Like,
know.
you don't
There
know.
might be somewhere. I don't
There,
know.
there might be. Yeah, yeah. No, that's complete. You're completely right. There might be, but I don't know. But if a platform like, and that's the other thing with Amazon Prime too. Like, if Amazon Prime starts to do shit like that, and a Netflix and all those people and an Apple TV, like, I don't know if Apple TV does this now, um, just because of like the bandwidth of whatever 162 times 30 teams, right? That's a lot. That's like 30,000 games. So I'm sure like Apple might not be able to do that with baseball, right? So you can't go back and rewatch, you know, April 17th Red Sox versus Orioles in 2022, right? If it was on Apple TV because they have the deal with the MLB. Um, Again, also things like that, like why the fuck would you want to go back and watch a random regular season game? But there could be instances, right? Like the playoffs or the Super Bowl or the World Series or things like that, where people, if it lived on a streaming platform, you could go back and watch it whenever you want. So,
I would watch the 2013 national championship fairly regularly if it was on something.
right, right. That's could be the future, right? If the streaming platforms actually do get into live sports and then keep that live event, obviously not live after that, but they keep it on their platform for the future.
That being said, you can pretty much watch any Masters final round broadcast you want on YouTube.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Or
I
is it
mean,
masters.com? No. Maybe it's both.
yeah. But like I said, the fight itself is probably going to be dumb. Tyson will probably win.
How would he
There,
not? He's a boxer.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Like, in what situation does he not win? Or the one where he shows up fat, out of shape, and untrained?
Well, that's not true because it's Mike Tyson. He's an
Well,
absolute monster.
that's what I mean. Is what's the hypothetical situation?
Right. Yeah. I I heard people talking about this on a podcast. I wonder if I can find it quickly on DraftKings. Um, Tyson is the dog
How?
because he's 57 and Jake Paul is um actually a decent boxer.
Wait, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was just some fucking idiot that like decided to start like. Who's his brother? Is his brother just like some fucking guy?
Um, yeah, what's his name? Logan.
Is he just like a dude?
I think so.
Did he try to fight somebody at one point?
I think he did.
Okay.
But Jake Paul is actually like a half decent boxer. He's the one that beat fuck, what's the guy's name? Ben Askren, which is kind of dumb because Ben Askren is not a boxer. He's an Olympic wrestler, like a legitimate Olympian. Um he fought in the UFC. So, I mean,
Stupid.
yeah.
This is fucking dumb. Like, if this dude's a fuck, it's like, so this is the shit that pisses me off. If this dude's a boxer, then fucking box people.
So
Like,
he beat
box boxers.
this is the guy that knocked out Nate Robinson back in the day. By back in the day, I mean 4 years ago. So yeah, he beat Ben Askren. He beat Tyron Woodley, who again fought in the UFC. He was a
So
middleweight
has he
champion.
boxed a boxer?
Potentially. I don't know who Ryan Borland and Andre August are, but those are his two most recent fights that he won. But before that, it was Nate Diaz, right? He beat Nate Diaz, who was a UFC fighter. He beat Tommy Fury. No, he lost to Tommy Fury, who is Tyson Fury's younger brother.
Is he actually a boxer too, or
I
is he just
believe
Tyson
so.
Fury's brother?
I think he's a real boxer.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so again, his two most recent fights are Ryan Borland and Andre August. I don't know who those people are, and they don't have Wikipedia pages for me to click on them. Um, but before that, like I said, was Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, who was a UFC fighter, Tyron Woodley twice, Ben Askren, and Nate Robinson, who was a 5'7" NBA player.
Paul's only fought two professional boxers,
Yeah, is it Borland and August?
Fury and August.
Okay. Who's Ryan Borland? I don't know. Oh, he just fought Ryan Borland on March 2nd, 2024.
Oh, so maybe he is a boxer then. I figured he didn't fight that recently.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fighting Tyson in July, I think it is.
Okay, so yeah, I think that makes 3 fights then.
Yeah. So he is half decent, right? Like he's
I
not
don't know
just
if,
a shit bum.
as an idiot that doesn't watch boxing, I don't know if I'm buying that. You've fought 3 professional fighters.
Right. And
One of the dudes doesn't have a Wikipedia page and he's been a pro for 10 years. You tell me about that.
yeah,
And the other one is some dude's brother.
right.
So
And
don't
he
get me
beat you.
wrong.
The some
Don't
dude's
Yeah, and
brother
you
beat you.
lost. So don't get me wrong. Make your money, please do. Never let a sucker keep their money. But don't fucking I don't want to hear that he's like good or something. Fight Anthony Joshua. He ain't fighting anymore. He could probably use a couple bucks. What's
yeah.
Deontay Wilder?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Yeah. Oh, he's still really tired from that the suit of diamonds that he wore out when he lost to Tyson Fury.
You would beat this idiot.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you're not going to beat Mike Tyson. I don't give a shit that he's 57 years old.
I don't like that he's the dog
So I
because I
couldn't
feel
find
like
a line on DraftKings.
because I feel like that means they're baiting you into taking him.
Yeah.
But I also don't know what the judging's like because of these real fights or the
Well,
exhibitions.
yeah, I mean,
And if they're exhibitions, who's grading them? Like real people or fake people?
right. Um, I don't have anything on FanDuel either.
I wouldn't worry about it then.
Yeah. I don't even know who has lines for it right now. Let's see, Fox Sports. Um, just give me the fucking odds. So it doesn't tell me where. I mean, Fox has a sports book, right? Is it Fox Bet or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still going or not, but
So they don't cite who. Oh, they say DraftKings. I couldn't find it on. They might have pulled the line. So according to Fox Sports, this article that was written on March 12th, that's today. Well, I don't know. Jake Paul is minus 360 and Mike Tyson is plus 300.
oh fuck, they bait. Yeah, this ain't gonna win that. Unless I'm missing the boat on this guy and like that's to protect the popular money from coming in.
Could be. I don't know. Um, I'm still trying to see if I can find it on DraftKings. I don't see it anywhere. And the fights, like the on the money line section, only goes out to June 1st. And their fight is in July. Oh, Vasily Lomachenko is fighting in May. Yeah. So I don't know what the deal is as far as this betting thing
It all
goes.
seems dumb.
Yeah.
It all seems dumb. I have no interest in this. I don't give a fuck about an old Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I don't care to watch. I don't care to think about it. I don't care to bet on it. I'm good.
Um, well, do you care about Hailey Davidson?
Do I care? No. But the latest is, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, do you want to fill me in on that and everyone else?
Sure. I'm just gonna go. I'm not pulling up the article though. I linked it, but yeah, effectively the professional tour that she plays on, which I think we've covered this. Trans woman, female now.
Yeah, born a dude.
Yep.
now as a woman.
playing on some mini tour, and she's won like 3 times on that mini tour. And whoever finishes, I think it's top 3 on the money list for the season, gets Epson Tour, either status or starts. I'm not really sure. The Epson Tour is like the feeder into the LPGA. So, needless to say, uh, there's some competition issues with it. She doesn't win every event, so like don't get me wrong, it's not like she's out there dominating and no one can do anything about it. She's not winning every event. She's won like 3. Uh Put to fucking together though. Like significantly fucking bigger than anybody else out there.
Yeah.
Therefore hits the ball further than everybody else out there. And some people are like, no, she doesn't outdrive everyone. It's like, stop. That's
Yeah.
not like she doesn't have to outdrive everybody.
Right.
Sometimes people hit it past Rory. Sometimes Rory hits it past them. Does Rory not hit the ball far because some people hit it past them?
Right.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever see some of these fucking professional golfers that are women? They're like fucking 5'2", 120 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're fucking tiny.
Yep.
Anywho, so whatever tour she's on, I think it's like the NXXT or something. She is no longer eligible to compete on that tour because they changed their rules to require all competitors, and this is a women's tour, all competitors must be female at birth.
Wow.
So she's out. I assume there'll be lawsuits and all types of shit coming.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that yet. Um, but there was also an anonymous poll taken within the organization, so the golfers,
Hmm.
about like what to do about this. And again, anonymously voted female at birth.
Yeah.
To the point where I I agree because and I know what some people are gonna fucking say, and I don't give a fuck. But
Transphobe.
yeah, they'll whatever. You can call me stupid fuck, dumb shit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't care.
Bigot.
Whatever. But I do feel as though there is an unfair advantage. Now, I know what the other argument is. Well, you don't know what the testing's like, and you don't know what the standards and regulations are. Okay, you're right. I don't. And I don't care to look it up, truthfully. Because if you ask me point blank, do I really care? No. Do I have to have an opinion? Actually, I don't have to. I'm
No.
choosing to. And I choose that I think someone whose job is in these groups and organizations and tours and leagues and whatever, they got to figure something out. I don't know what to fucking do, but I don't think you can have someone who is a male until age whatever, 18, 20. Yes, you go under hormones. Yes, you go under gender reassignment. Like those were rules. This trans woman did do those things.
But that doesn't negate the 20 years of testosterone that you had in your
Lean
body
muscle building, like
or your bone structure that
bone structure, like
developed.
the fact that you might like the dude, like I forget what it is. This dude might be 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Woman might be 6 feet tall. That is significantly bigger than anybody else.
Yeah.
So bigger, stronger, faster. Tell me how that's not an advantage. A
Right.
borderline unfair. I would argue it's an unfair advantage. And what testosterone levels are today does not negate everything leading up to that point.
Right. Right.
And again, because I've seen this argument, and I didn't like, and obviously it goes way too far one way or the other, right?
Of course.
Because some
Yeah.
people's like, oh, I would tell him, and it's like someone's like, that's fucking kind of rude and disrespectful. Well, I call it how I see it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so you're not listening. And
Yeah.
then everyone's like, well, you should really look into what the protocols are. It's like no one's looking into the protocols. I'm sorry. No one's doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, I work with some of the people and they're okay with it. Well, clearly they're not because an anonymous poll said they weren't. So
Right.
I don't know what the right answer is. I don't think there is one. Some people are like, well, she's not going to win every time. What's the big deal? Listen, fuck off. It's a snap jerk reaction. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Don't give women even less of an opportunity to compete in sport than they already have.
I think that's a fantastic way to put it.
Like that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to go over the X's and the O's and the fucking chromosomes and the fucking moles and
Yeah.
villain fucking whatever the fucks.
Yeah.
None of it's important. Women already struggle to like compete in sport or get funding in sport or do any of this shit. Title IX fucking fuck off. Like it's not fucking equal.
Yeah.
And this just makes it even less equal.
Right. Right. Yeah, like you said, you have women that are already are having a hard time being, I don't want to say being successful in their sport because there are plenty of women that are obviously successful, but like being as popular, right, and as big as some of the men's sports. And now you have a man, a once upon a time man, comes into the women's sport and starts beating them. Like that's a fucking problem, right? Like that's Riley Gaines was actually on Joe Rogan this week, and I listened to that episode. Pretty interesting. She's fine. Um, she gets a little too like Jesus for me. She's from like, you know, backwoods Kentucky or something like that, or she went to University of Kentucky. I don't know if she's from there, but she's like, yeah, my daddy and I love Jesus and all these people. You need Jesus and all this stuff, and it's like, all right, it's a little bit much for me. But the fact remains, she has a point. She's the girl that went nuclear on Leah Thomas, the swimmer.
Um,
Um, so I think she's coming out with a book now too, and it's a whole thing. Um, but it's the same thing, right? It's like you have these women, and she actually says this. She said it in her interview with Rogan. She was like, you have these girls that are in the college locker room, like they're changing, putting on swimsuits, like they're naked. And then she goes, you have a 6'4", fully intact male walking around naked in this locker room with other naked, like young women, like they're in their 20s, right? They're college students. And she's like, that's pretty fucking intimidating, right? She's like, all the women that are in the locker room are like covering up, like they feel super uncomfortable. And it's like you have this 6'4" alleged female that's got a fucking swinging dick in the female locker room. Like, how is that okay? How are people like, oh yeah, no, absolutely, I support that? What? Like competing is one thing, right? And that's where it gets into a whole other fucking can of worms, right? Is the competition aspect is one thing. But then you want to turn around and be like, oh yeah, no, of course they should be in the same locker room. What? What? What is wrong with you? I don't have a daughter, right? Luckily, yet. Maybe never, who knows? But if I did, there's zero fucking chance I would ever be okay with my daughter being in a locker room with a biological male that just says, yeah, I'm a woman.
that opens up a different can of worms. But so the only thing though, that argument, people can find too many ways out of it. Because you're like, oh, well, we'll just use a different locker room.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
fine.
Or some people are like, oh, golf, there's no teams. or the teams don't that they don't get naked. They don't whatever. It's like, oh well, you pick swimming. It's the only sport where they get
Yeah.
naked. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Which, and again, that's why I said the competition is different. And that point that she got into about that one thing in particular was its own
yeah.
thing. But the
And that's the thing.
competition
Like
in
you,
swimming, she, whatever you want to say, Leah Thomas, right? Absolutely blew everybody out of the water. And when she was a he and competed in swimming as a he was like 400 and something in the country as a male,
right.
and then became a female one day and was setting records as a female, but wasn't good enough to crack the top 300, right, as a male.
Oh yeah, but the hormones control everything.
Yeah,
The tr
exactly.
the hormone therapy.
Yeah. The 20 years of testosterone that made him 6'4" and probably 210 pounds had, yeah, that has nothing to do with it, right? It's all negated by the hormones he's on now. He takes more estrogen, so he cries more. So it's okay. It's like
And
what, like,
I think unfortunately too, that's the thing that people won't focus on that. People won't focus, or people. I'm sorry, people will be hyper focused on like the one or two stories, and they won't just focus on like as is. Women don't have a fair crack
right,
in sport, and if it's 10 or 15 spots, like you're still taking spots away.
right,
And ultimately, for me, that's why I give a fuck. Because if it didn't come down to that, like if people weren't showing up and setting records and outperforming each other and whatever, and it was like, fine. I would with like because what people say is like, oh, the locker room, the locker room. It's like, okay, hey, if you are going to join this team, like you are a trans person, if you're going to join this team, you need to dress in a separate locker room. Are you okay with that?
right,
No, I'm not okay with that. Okay, understood. I don't know. We can't accommodate anything else.
right,
And it's like, we're not going to have a team if you're not cool with that.
right,
Because ultimately, that's what it should be about. It's like, I'm here to compete. I'm here to play. I'm here to whatever.
right,
It's not, oh, I'm here to also be in the locker room with the other girls. Like, no, that's not the sport. That's not
right,
why you're here.
right,
Um, And like I said, it's like, okay, so swimming, yeah, you're fucked on that one. But like, there are plenty of sports where it's a non fucking issue. And people make it into an issue.
right,
So that's my big thing with it. It's just opportunity, especially like if we're gonna talk LPGA. Now I understand now fucking this person is not nearly good enough to be LPGA yet, but
right, right,
doesn't mean they're not going to take someone for it's always a trickle down, right? You're taking someone's spots somewhere, somehow, some way. You're just taking someone's spot.
right, right. And that's the whole point, right? Like you can be, again, going back to the Riley Gaines thing, you can be 420th as a man and rank number one as a female,
Yeah.
right? Like, and not only just number one as a female, but a record breaking female, right? A record setting female, when as a male, you were only good enough to be 420th.
But the other thing too is now you're taking records away. It's like,
Right.
cool,
Right.
sick.
Right. So yeah, not cool. I mean, if you want to do whatever you want to do, go ahead, right? Like even the adult baby diaper shit that we were talking about, like that's really fucking weird. I don't support it, but like whatever, dude, you do you, right? Like if that's what you do and you need it because you that's what your therapist wants,
It doesn't bother anybody else.
yeah, it don't involve
That's
let's
the
involve
key.
Gary
Yeah.
Jeffries.
If it keeps Gary Jeffries out of it, you're good.
um, but yeah, right. Like if you were born a male and you now feel like you're a female, cool, dude. Like whatever. You want to fucking grow your hair, paint your nails, and take hormones, go for it. Who am I to tell you not to do that, right? But once you start affecting other people, where it becomes a problem is sports, right? When you bring it into sports and any sort of competition, um, there's an issue because you have an unfair advantage as a biological male over biological females. So it is what it is. Fuck them. That's what I say. Just like Deadspin. Fuck them. Uh, all right. Want to wrap this bitch up?
We can wrap this up.
All right.
Two-part question for you. Have you
Okay.
ever had hot chicken in Nashville?
Yes.
You actually had it, like Hattie B's or something,
I didn't have Hattie B's, but I've
but you
had
had the other one.
yeah.
Okay. Follow-up question: have you ever had Dave's hot chicken?
Yes, I have.
Are they the same thing?
No.
Okay. Uh, so because we went to Dave's hot chicken on Sunday, and I mean, I thought it was good, like
Where is there one near you?
Braintree.
Oh, okay. Is that new?
Oh, probably.
Where
There's
in
also
Braintree is it?
across, so it's in like the plaza that's across from the mall.
Oh, with the Starbucks and the legal
Yes.
seafood.
Yeah, so like
So
yeah,
that
yeah,
it's
it's over there.
that is new because it
Okay.
used to be like a potbelly sandwich was over there. I think
Oh,
Qdoba was over there.
yeah, none of those things are there anymore.
Yeah, Vitamin Shop.
That's still there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we went over there, and obviously I'm scarred by the fucking Wendell's
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
snafu. So I just got medium, was not hot.
No, it
Like
wasn't.
not even close.
Yeah.
But it was one above mild, which is what fucked me in at Wendell's.
Yep. Yep.
I think. I forget. I don't know. I'd have to look at their menu again. So whatever. I mean, again, I thought it was fine. Obviously, it's a chain. It's fast food, fast casual, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wanted to ask if it was because I never had the hot chicken in Nashville. I was unwilling to go to Hattie B's or wait in the line at Hattie B's, and then we just never got there. Also, I didn't eat the first time I went to Nashville. Um, so yeah, I honestly I was just kind of asking what makes it. I mean, obviously, it's probably just better.
Yeah, it's bigger. Like it's on a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a fucking not this big. That's ridiculous.
Is it
That's
like
the
the
size of
fucking
my head.
thigh from fuck one of our other haunts, Flynn's?
Yeah, basically. It's probably closer to Flynn's, right? It's not quite that big. Um, but it's closer to Flynn's than it is Dave's hot chicken.
What about the taste of it?
Um, yeah, I mean the taste is pretty similar.
Okay, I can live with that then. But like, yeah, I mean, because that was mostly what I was concerned with. Obviously, like again, it's fast casual, whatever. Like, it's not a real restaurant, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, because I've seen like, oh, Nashville hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken, and I'm like, well, I know Nashville hot chicken is not Buffalo. It
right,
is not, and it is not supposed to be.
right.
But now they're bottling all types of Nashville hot chicken sauces, and
I think a real Nashville hot chicken, like the original Nashville hot chicken, is a dry rub.
that's what I thought. I didn't think there was
It's
a
not.
sauce.
It's not a sauce. Yeah,
Um, and again, I can only go off of, okay, I do take an interest in cooking. So where my interests have brought me and where like what YouTube videos pop up or not YouTube, fucking Instagram videos pop up. Um, yeah, I never understood. I didn't think there was a sauce.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, anyway, I think my microphone's fucking up right now.
Yeah, it just spazzed out real quick.
Yeah, I'm getting notifications and shit. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I did like that it's not Buffalo. Like, let's be clear, if you're looking for Buffalo, you cannot go hot chicken.
Right.
Um, Sneaky good portion sizes too, because it's like we're not gonna pummel you with food, but you can definitely order it if you want to. So I got like an extra tender, and I'm like, I didn't need that.
Yeah, did you get the double? Like the
I
double
got the
slider?
I got the two tenders
Yeah.
with fries, and then I got an extra tender.
Oh,
Uh,
did you get the sandwich?
no, I didn't get sliders.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Well, dude, there's like four things you can order. It's like
Yeah, you get a
two
single,
tenders, two
a double.
sliders, a
Yeah.
tender, a slider,
Yep.
and then like I don't know, whatever. But I did like that it was like dry rub. The dry rub was definitely different. Um,
You
probably
can
like
um
probably some brown sugar in there because it was definitely like
you can
the
split
dry
them
rub was
too.
definitely sweeter.
So if you get like the double, you can get one Reaper and one spicy, or one spicy, one
Yeah, see, I
mild.
just don't see a need for Reaper.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
also
either.
like again, I am I'm a fucking miserable cunt. I get that, but I'm also getting older, and it's like when I was a kid, I probably would have got the fucking Reaper at one point. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, sign a waiver." I don't know if it's like that, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
if a place ever made me sign a waiver, I'd be so excited.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
I'm
Now that you're
like,
older, you're like, fuck, man, I'm gonna
I
feel
go,
that in my asshole
I
later.
go, never mind. If it goes in, it has to leave your body.
Exactly. Yeah.
I go, I have to deal with what the fuck that's gonna do to my GI system. Like,
Yep.
just give me the medium. And if
Yeah.
it's fucking not hot enough, now I know.
Right.
Whatever's one above medium, I'll just get that next time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Also,
can I hit
I
3.5?
yeah. Yeah, give me the extra. Fuck.
You sure?
So I don't know. We'll see. There's the Birdie's hot chicken in Brockton. I've always say I'm gonna try that. I only drive by it twice a day. So
Yeah. I mean, so I went into Dave's Hot Chicken with high expectations because I saw on Instagram that like this guy was like hyping it up, saying it was awesome, it was this, whatever. So
fine.
I still am working in Framingham quite a bit, but I was working in Framingham more, maybe like a month or two ago. And for lunch one day, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Dave's Hot Chicken because there's one in Framingham, like literally 4 minutes from where I was working. So I went there for lunch and I got the double slider with fries and whatever else. Um, and it was good. But after I ate it, I was like, you know, it was good. I enjoyed it, but like I thought it was going to be way better, and it wasn't.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, if I waited in the fucking line through those hangovers at Hattie B's and it was like that or just a little bit better, I would have fucking lost my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have
'Cause did the
absolutely
guys
fucking.
wait? Did Vinny wait? Like, did they all wait in that line? Yeah, I think Jimo did, right?
So the bachelor part. So I was thinking the first time
Oh,
when I didn't eat because we were right next to it. We stayed right next to it.
right, right. But so when we went for the bachelor party, they
I think
waited
they
in
went
line
and
and
they
we
waited in the
left. We
line.
walked to like some other spot, the Mexican spot across the street or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oof.
Yeah, out of the frying
Did we
pan into
hop in
the
an Uber to
fire,
go?
right?
Did we hop in an Uber to go to
The
cookout?
cookout. Yeah. Fucking
Um,
love cookout.
yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. If I do find my way into Nashville, I do want to get the real fucking deal, like,
Yeah,
because ultimately, too, it's spiced fried chicken, like fried tenders. Like, it's
yeah,
gonna be good. Like, you
right,
can't fuck that up too much.
right.
But I would like to try, like, from the fucking horse's mouth. Um, I had a screenshot of a place, but it was just so fucking far away from where we stayed. I'm
Yeah,
like, we're not getting over here. But it's like a fucking hole in the wall spot. And I'm like, that's what I want. I don't want to wait in a fucking line at Hattie B's. Fuck that.
right, right. Yeah, almost like the was it the Porky Pig place that we went to? The barbecue spot. That was kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, hole in the wall.
Yeah, it was like it was in a weird spot because it was close to the gulch, but like a place like that isn't really like
Yeah.
what you would think a gulch spot is,
Right.
but it also like wasn't quite downtown, and it
Yeah.
definitely wasn't. Yeah, so I mean that place was good. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That was good. We just got a fuck ton of barbecue.
Yeah, we cleaned that place out. We got like yeah, there was a shitload of food,
Yeah.
absolute fuckload.
Yeah. But all right. So my final thought is another follow-up. So we opened up the show with a follow-up on Deadspin, and I have another follow-up on my newfound lacrosse betting. So I texted this to you yesterday. I did some searching through some of the NCAA lacrosse games this week, and I came out with Richmond -7. Um,
Spiders.
yeah, go Spiders. And they were, I don't remember who they were playing now. It wasn't Bucknell. That was a different game. Oh, it was
It was
Bucknell.
Bucknell.
It was Bucknell. So Richmond -7 against Bucknell. Um, I looked at the stats, I looked at everything, and I go, you know what? That just kind of seems like it makes sense to me. And I go, I'm betting on it. And I do. Did you end up tailing me on it?
Yeah.
Yes. So we win. We're winners.
All
I,
right.
I'm now 3
I
and
was gonna
0.
say this either goes. This either goes one way or the other. Either you nailed the bet, or Bucknell won by 7.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
no other way. Like it was like you either gonna tell me that you hit it, or it was a fucking trap and you got fucking worked.
Yeah. No, you mean
Because I
we
did
hit it.
see that when you sent the things, I go, I'm gonna tail this. I
Yeah.
go, if this goes the complete other way, I would not be surprised because I don't know the lacrosse landscape. And when it seems too good to be true
Yeah.
in major sports where money's moving and there are real markets,
Right.
sometimes it is.
Right. So
All right, we're
Richmond
winners.
-7. The final score, Richmond 17, Bucknell 5.
So I was telling Chris about this, obviously, also lacrosse guy, obviously. You
Yeah.
guys, lacrosse bros.
What's up, bro?
So he's and that was his thing was my only thing is the opponent. So I told him about was it High Point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you faded High Point, right?
Um, no, the high point was they opened at 18-point favorites against Hampton.
No, didn't you bet against High Point? Wasn't that one of your two bets? Nope, making that up completely.
No, yeah, I
You
just
mentioned
used,
their offense. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Uh who did you bet? Oh, Quinnipiac, whatever. So I mentioned the High Point thing. I'm like, oh, High Point has this great offense, whatever. He goes, yeah. He goes, but the big boys play the big boys all the time.
right,
High Point plays the big boys maybe 3 times a year. So
right,
he pulled up Richmond and he goes, this is exactly what I'm telling you. He goes, they average like 19 when they play sub
yeah,
major conferences. He goes, they can't score double digits against real teams. He goes,
right.
luckily, Bucknell's not a real team.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, it's just like the nuance of it all, which I mean, that's the same shit though with football.
Yeah,
There will be a stat that travels. I don't know what that is. Um, like I imagine if you force a lot of turnovers and don't give up a lot of shots or something like defensively, and I don't even know if those are stats you can pull, I would imagine that would travel because that means there's like sound defensive
right.
strategy or sound players or something like something's there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I know I'm like hyper specific on those couple things. Like there's always gonna be something. Offense in any sport does not fucking travel different levels. Never has, probably never will. So it's like, High Point minus 18 and a half. I don't know if they covered or not. Doesn't matter.
they did.
But
So that I was going to get to that.
shit.
So
Holy shit.
High Point opened at 18. It moved to 18 and a half. I think at one point I saw it get up to 19. And here I am talking about High Point has an elite offense. Their
Yeah.
defense isn't good. So they played
Yeah.
Hampton. They beat Hampton 27-5. Again, talking about your High
Oh,
Point elite offense, right? Like they put up 27 goals to Hampton's 5.
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So it
But
was
I'm
one of those
looking.
again where I see that and I go, oh, High Point 18.5. Yeah, I mean, they have a great offense, but like I'm not doing that. And they fucking cover by 2, right? Like what did they
Well, so I just pulled High Point's schedule this year. So it's like they played Duke, lost 21-9. They couldn't muster double digits. They did hang double digits on Syracuse, but they lost by 6. Georgetown, they could only score 8.
right.
Jacksonville University, I don't know who the fuck they are. They lost 10-9. Remember that. Jacksonville. Jacksonville University? What team is that?
I don't even
The
know.
JU Dolphins?
Go Dolphins.
Did they have an elite defense? Or is that like a fucking scrimmage? I don't know.
They played 7-on-7.
Good.
So yeah, I mean there's some things to it here, right?
Well, dude, if you work it, so this is how this works. In a small market, if you work hard enough, you can pull it off.
Right.
You just
Right.
need to, and this is the problem though. At some point, you will take some lumps because you're new to the bet to betting the sport.
100%, right? And right now I'm flying high. I'm 3-0. I feel good. I'm invincible. But eventually, like you said, yeah,
Morris.
I'm invincible. um, eventually, I know I'm gonna hit a rough spot, right? Like you said, I'm gonna take my lumps. It's gonna happen.
But if you
Um,
but you don't bet like an asshole where you're gonna bet like $20 and $20 and $20 and $20 and you go 4-0 and it's like, oh man, I'm getting this 100 lose.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Exactly. So the next one I like, which I did bet it when I sent it to you, and I think I saw it get up to 2.5. Um, was Dartmouth. So Dartmouth College, shout out to them local guys in up in New Hampshire, Ivy League too. Um, it's back down to 2. So they opened at +1.5 dogs to Vermont. Um, and now it's at 2. So, like I said, I actually bet it at 1.5. It's a better number now at 2. The game is on Thursday. So it's actually when this episode comes out. So if you're anyone out there is listening to this on the day that it actually comes out, and you want to tail, you can get Dartmouth +2 now, potentially, unless the line moves again. But um, so what did I send to you? So
one
Dartmouth
and a half.
is 4th in D1. So there's 73 total teams in D1 lacrosse. Dartmouth is 4th in ground ball percentage and Vermont is 30th. And both teams are bottom of the barrel in turnovers. So they turn the ball over a lot, which means the ball is going to be on the ground, right? This is kind of like an insight into how I look at things. So both teams turn the ball over a ton, right? And Dartmouth is far superior in maintaining and picking up ground balls. So that's a massive advantage to Dartmouth, in my opinion. And then the Dartmouth offense is ranked 40th. So almost dead middle, right? 40 out of 73. And their defense is 44. Again, dead average, right? The Vermont offense is ranked 51st, so a little bit below average, and their defense is ranked 71st,
That's
almost
not good.
quite literally dead last. However, Vermont is a 2-goal favorite right now. And I see that and I go, I'm not really sure unless there's something I'm missing, right?
Yep,
And this is where
it
it
could be.
comes in. This is where it comes in. Maybe Dartmouth's goalie got injured, right? And now they have a backup goalie, but I have no idea because
Right.
it's college lacrosse. Like there's no ESPN
You can't
ticker for
even get college football injury reports, let alone
exactly.
college fucking lax.
Exactly. So maybe the Dartmouth had a star senior attackman that got injured, blew out his ACL in the last game. I have no idea. There's no way for me to track that. But just looking on stats alone, I look at that game and I go, all things being equal on statistics and numbers, I don't know how Dartmouth is a dog, especially a 2-point dog. Um, so I'll take that, right? And this could be the first situation where I take the loss, right? Because there's something I am unaware of that causes that. Um, so there we are. That's what we have. So that's going to do it for us here today. So we'll see again. Tail me on Dartmouth. Be warned, right? Maybe not. We'll see. But you can click subscribe up above. Hit the thumbs up down below. Tell everybody you know about the show. Help spread the word. You can subscribe if you're an audio only guy as well. Where are we? We're on Spotify and Apple. And if you use those, you can leave us 5 stars and a review. That would be super great. We're also on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is sarcasm speaks. Website is sarcasmspeaks.com. You go to the merch store, buy some merch. And while you're at it, check out all the sponsors in the show notes below. You can get all of the links and the discount codes and all that promo stuff down below. So check those guys out, support them. They're awesome. And until next time, good night, everybody.